make another recap video to show you guys this thing, man. It's just crazy. So here we have your waistband, and then we have the elastic sitting nice and easy on the inside of the waistband, yeah. And luckily we got some pins earlier. Remember, we had some pins, so that pins is actually keeping the elastic from moving about, so that it's easy for us to just fold the waistband over, covering the elastic. So you should have something like this right about now, yeah. So now we're gonna move back to our center back. We're gonna remove the pin and pin it from the outside like that. There we go. And then we're gonna go towards the seam, side seam, which is the next seam. We're gonna stretch the elastic like that. We're gonna place our finger here where the side seam is, hold it down, and remove the pin that we have there earlier. We stuck a pin in there. We put the pin from the outside now where we can see it, keeping both the elastic and the waistband all together. We stretch it towards the next seam, which is of course our center front. We remove the pin over there, keeping it down and lining up those dots that we made earlier. And of course lining up the edges, remember the edges. Pinning the elastic to the waistband from the outside, moving on to the next seam, which is a side seam again, lining up the edges, removing the pin that we have there, keeping the elastic together, so that we can pin it on the outside, yeah. So there we go, everybody. So now we are ready to start sewing the elastic or the waistband. So the only thing that we need to do now is head over to the machine, go towards the center back, which is this one. Make sure that the waistband is lined up on the edges and the elastic is inside, and then we sew 5 millimeters from this center back all along the edges towards the center back again. That's what we're going to do now in the next video. So I just wanted to show you guys before we head over to the sewing machine how your elastic needs to look. Alright, cool guys, we will just do that in the next video, yeah? Alright everybody, so this is what we got. We got the elastic into the waistband, and we are about to rock this thing. So here we go, making sure that there's edge to edge, elastic on the inside, edge to edge, and we're going to sew this elastic, or at least the waistband, 5 millimeter. We are just going to do a stay stitch to keep them all together. Here we go. Lifting up my foot, making sure that I am measuring 5 millimeter, lowering the needle, and we don't want to catch the elastic. We don't want to sew on the elastic at all, yeah? So making sure that the elastic is away from the edges, and we do have 5 millimeter space there to sew. And we're just gonna do stay stitch, making sure that this edges is lining up. So now the trick here, everybody, where's my finger? There's my finger. So the trick here is actually to pull on these edges, stretching it out as we are sewing the elastic, yeah? So we're stretching it, pulling it, yeah? So I'm keeping it flat, releasing this pin, making sure that everything lines up, and we are just doing a stay stitch. Releasing the pin. I'm just fixing my edges real quick. There we go, lining up the edges. Stretching the elastic and the waistband as I'm sewing on the edges. pins, and I'm sewing all the way on the edges here. All the way back to the center back over here. And we do a little back tack over there. And there we go, everybody. And that is what we want. Cool. So after we have prepared our waistband, finally, phew, after all those videos. So our elastic is prepared, elasticated waistband, and now we are ready to attach the elasticated waistband to the waistline of the pants. Yeah. So assuming that you've already completed the pants, the bottom part of it, we're now ready to put the elastic to the pants. Yeah. And for the demonstration of this video, I have some kind of tube here that we're going to sew this elastic to. It is the same principle, so don't worry about it, everybody. So here we go. So take your elastic and then flip it towards you like that. The raw edges facing you. And then we will locate the center back. In my case, this is my center back over here. Yeah. So I'm going to take the center back and find the center back of your pants, and then we're going to stick the whole front. We're going to stick our hand through here, we're going to grab the pants and we're going to bring it through the waistband like that. Yeah. And then we're going to take the center back of the pants, the center back of the elasticated waistband, and then we're going to just match them up. Match them up like that, over there, edge to edge, and then I'm gonna stick a pin in there real quick. There we go. And then I'm gonna follow along to my side seam, because now I already have that line there, remember, with the lines that we made. So match up your side seam to your side seam, and put a pin there. Then you move on to the center back, get the center back to center back, put another pin there, and go along all the way to the center back again. So there we go. I'm just going to stretch out this real quick. Line up my edges, grab some pins, side seam to side seam. And then this is my center back or center front over here. Stick another pin in there, and then move towards the other side seam. Remember, we have two side seams. There we go. And now we are ready to sew this waistline, yeah? And that will happen in the next video. So get to this point and we will sew in the next. Right. So after we've pinned our elasticated waistband to the waistline of our pants, like that, pin it from the center back, side seam, we pin our center fronts, and then our other side seam, and then back towards the center back. Once we are ready, now we're going to jump over to our machine, and then we're going to just sew this waistband together. And this stitch is going to be 1 centimeter. Remember our seam allowance? And we haven't spoken about overlocking just yet. We will talk about that right in a few seconds. So now I have the center backs. I lower my needle, and then I'm going to do a back tack. And then as I'm sewing, like I did with the elasticated waistband earlier, I'm going to pull, yeah, to straighten the waistband and elastic on the inside and not leave it like that. So I'm going to straighten it, and then I'm going to sew that line, and I'm going to keep pulling like that, not too hard, just to keep it straight while I'm sewing, yeah? Making sure that you are sewing edge to edge. There we go. And I'm going to hold it on where the pin is, and pull and sew, and pull and sew. That's basically what we are doing. And then I'm releasing, and I'm going to straighten out the fabric, and then I'm going to pull again, and then I'm going to sew. Making sure that you're not sewing on unnecessary fabrics. So double check over here, everybody. You don't want to catch unnecessary fabrics. So now I'm at the point, at the pin, release the pin and pull again towards you. Not too hard, making sure that the fabric still lines up. And we are sewing, pulling, sewing. Stop the machine, check everything is cool, and then grab another point and then pull again towards you and sew. That's basically the function that we're going to be doing. Removing the pins as you are going, check everything, pulling and sewing, making this flat over here, right? All the way to the center back. Checking everything, making sure you're not sewing on unnecessary stuff. Lining up the edges, pulling and sewing, that's our trick here. Making sure everything lines up. And all the way back to the center back. This is my center back over here. And then I'll do a back tack. And there we go, everybody. My elastic is attached to my waistband, or my waistline rather. There we go, everything nice and easy. There we go, everybody. I'll bring it up closer to the camera, you can see. There we go. Nice and easy, yeah? Cool. So now our last step to finish off this thing, we will go back on the inside because it's still raw. We're gonna jump on the overlocker and then we just overlock the inside of the waistband and the waistline, yeah? So that is the next video, everybody. So we're at the overlocker. We're gonna take our waistband, waistline, we're gonna stick our hands on the inside here and grab this raw edge like that. And then we're gonna take that part and slip it over or under the foot of the overlocker and then just overlock the edge. Alright, let's do it. I'm gonna start again from my center back. Yeah. That's my center back. Lift up the foot of the overlocker, slip it underneath, lower the foot, and making sure that you're not overlocking anything else underneath. So make sure it is the waistline that you're overlocking. So here we go. And the same procedure like we did earlier, we want to pull towards us and overlock, yeah? So again, you want to grab your point that you've made. So this is my side seam over here. That's my center back. This is my side seam. I'm going to pull and then I'm going to overlock, yeah? Flattening the elastic on the inside of the waistline. Making sure I'm not sewing on any unnecessary fabrics. Pulling and sewing, pulling and sewing. Straightening the fabric. There's a lot of trucks standing on the outside, guys. That's the sound that you are hearing in the background. And now we are almost at the back, center back. There we go, everybody. All right, cool.